Welcome back to another FPL video. An eventful game week is just over, but the next game week is just around the corner, so it's time to start the preparations. In this video, I'll quickly take a look at my game week 26 score, my team for game week 27, possible transfers, an updated watch list, and I will finish the video by taking a look at some captain options for game week 27. So let's have a look. $77 points for me, decent game week, but just a grey arrow. Really satisfied with João Pedro starting and scoring and assisting for Brighton against Southampton. Of course, I went for the Alexander Isak captain punt, was really excited for 1 hour, but in the first half against Man City, Mo Salah scored and assisted, so he got more points than Alexander Isak. Not much between them. Isak, he will end up on 13 points, while Salah, he will get 14. So really close. Mbumo as well, 14 points on the first day in game week 26. So pretty even when it comes to the most popular captain options. I'll talk more about a captaincy at the end of this video. Still a lot of blanks in my team. Martinez, Gabriel, Anderson with a own goal, so -1 points for him. Mikolenko, Everton did well against Man United for so long, but they scored 2 goals at the end of the game, so only 1 point for Mikolenko. In midfield, Cole Palmer, he blanked again. I'll talk more about Cole Palmer later. Gordon as well. Newcastle scored 4 goals, but Gordon, he blanked, and the same goes for Morgan Rogers. Is also yellow flag, but I actually think that he will be fine to start and play in game week 27. My assistant manager got some points this game week as well, 8 points for Emery. Aston Villa, they won against Chelsea. I'm pretty satisfied with the assistant managership, to be honest. Played it in game week 24 on David Moyes. Everton, they had a double game week and he scored 22 points. In game week 25, double game week 25, I sold Moyes to bring in Emery. He did well, 14 points. I just kept Emery, so I saved the transfer. Of course, the players who went for Glasner is the winners when it comes to the assistant managership. Glasner and Crystal Palace, they beat Fulham, so table bonus points for Glasner, 20 points, so absolutely a great transfer if you got Glasner in. But for me, 22, 14 and 8, I think that's a decent outcome when it comes to the assistant managership. Should we have this ship next season? I'm not sure. I kind of like it, brings something new to the game, but I think that the outcome, if you pick the wrong assistant manager like Arteta this game week with 0 points and Glasner with 20, I think the swings maybe are a bit too big, but I'll discuss that later in another video. Trent, the only player who got points for me in defense, clean sheet and 6 points for him. I had Lewis Hall on my bench, kind of annoying since he got 2 assists against Nottingham Forest. But let's see if Lewis Hall can get into my team by taking a look at the team selection for game week 27. This is the team for game week 27. Lewis Hall is still on my bench. Tough fixture for Newcastle, playing away against Liverpool, so it makes sense to bench Lewis Hall once more. I don't really see him getting 2 assists against Liverpool, so I'm kind of relaxed having Lewis Hall on my bench for game week 27. So in defense, I'll start Trent, Gabriel, Anderson. Fabianski is my starting goalkeeper. I don't really see him starting for West Ham against Leicester, but I don't really want to play Martinez, so I will start Fabianski just with a little hope that he will start for West Ham, but it will probably be Martinez as my goalkeeper in game week 27. In midfield, Gordon, Salah, Palmer and Rogers. As mentioned, Rogers, he is yellow flag, but I think that he will be fit to play. And up top, Alexander Isak, João Pedro and Gakpo. I will actually make 2 transfers ahead of game week 27, so let's take a look at the watch list and possible transfer options. The watch list. This was the watch list ahead of game week 26 when the Bournemouth midfielders were in so demand. I've already seen some think about selling Bournemouth midfielders. I think that that's maybe a bit harsh, even though they blanked in game week 26. They're still decent options. One I would consider selling is Django Ouattara, because we saw Evan Nilsson was on the bench in game week 26, so I think that he will get more minutes going forward. So Django will probably see more minutes on the bench. I still think that Kluivert is the best asset, nailed on at the moment and on penalties, and Semenyo, he has played all season and will not be affected by Evan Nilsson's return. So this is still a decent watch list, but avoid Django. So as mentioned, Kluivert is still in my midfield watch list. Other options I would consider for game week 27 is Mitoma, really in form for Brighton at the moment, only priced at 6.4, playing against Bournemouth in game week 27, so not the best fixture, but they have a decent fixture in game week 28, and they have a game in game week 29 as well, so no blanks for Brighton. The same goes for Jared Bowen and West Ham, decent fixtures. It's a bit more expensive at 7.3. It's only selected by 3%, so the biggest differential. I would actually consider bringing in Jared Bowen at the moment if I had the funds, but it doesn't really fit my team at the moment. But if he does, I think that he is a really good option. Probably on penalties for the next couple of game weeks because of Paqueta's injury, but I think that when Paqueta is back, Bowen will probably be next in line, but still a decent transfer in at the moment. If you're considering to use your free hit chip in blank game week 29, I think that we should focus on bringing in Crystal Palace assets. My preferred option would be Mateta in midfield, SA, and of course in defense, Munoz. So for me, I will probably use my free hit chip in blank game week 29, especially if I bring in Crystal Palace players, because they don't have a game in game week 29, but they have decent fixtures afterwards. So a double in game week 32, double game week 32, and probably a double in double game week 33 as well. So if you're using your free hit, consider bringing in Crystal Palace players. As mentioned, the free hit in blank game week 29 strategy will probably be the one I go with, so I might as well go all the way and bring in more players with a blank in that given game week. So selling João Pedro to bring in Mateta makes sense. João Pedro, he's a minutes risk at the moment. Welbeck, he was injured in game week 26, but he will probably be back pretty soon. So selling João Pedro to bring in a nailed on Mateta. Mateta is also on penalties, sharing them with SA, but with the form Mateta is in at the moment, I think that he is first in line. So selling João Pedro, 10.5% selected. Mateta, kind of similar, 9.5, but when we take a look at expected goal involvement, we can see that Mateta is superior. A bit more expensive, so I'll need to do a downgrade to afford this transfer. To afford João Pedro to Mateta, I will have to sell Trent. He's been decent recently, but I think that he is probably a bit too expensive. He's well owned as well, so I need to be a bit differential going forward to gain some rank, and selling Trent to bring in Munoz is probably good for my team at the moment. Trent is also playing against two of my players in game week 27, so I have Gordon, I have Alexander Isak playing against Liverpool, so hopefully they can deliver, and hopefully Liverpool will concede a couple of goals in that game. In game week 28, Liverpool have a really good fixture against Southampton, but on the other hand, Crystal Palace and Munoz have a decent fixture playing at home against Ipswich as well, so hopefully Munoz can outscore Trent in the next game weeks, but at least the money I save on upgrading João Pedro to Mateta will probably be worth it. So this will probably be my game week 27 team. Especially if I do those moves, I will definitely play my free hit in blank game week 29. Let me know in the comments down below what is your chip strategy for the rest of the season. So this team looks decent on paper, but let's take a look at the possible captain options. Mo Salah. Can't do a captain section without talking about Mo Salah and Liverpool. They are playing against Newcastle in game week 27. Newcastle actually haven't been that great when we take a look at their defensive stats, so kept 0 clean sheets, conceded 10 goals, 10 big chances conceded as well, 21 shots on target, and they have an expected goals conceded of 6.40. I definitely think that Mo Salah will be the most captain player in game week 27, and he is the safest option. For me, I'm not really satisfied with my rank at the moment, so I will consider taking a captain punt in game week 27. Cole Palmer and Chelsea playing against Southampton in game week 27. I know Chelsea and Cole Palmer haven't been in their best form recently, so this is more down to a fixture pick. I know that sometimes fixtures can create form, and hopefully this will be the case with Cole Palmer. Really good fixture in game week 27 against Southampton, and a decent fixture at home against Leicester in game week 28 as well. So if I go against Mo Salah, Cole Palmer will be my captain. Really terrible defensive stats for Southampton recently. Kept 0 clean sheets, conceded 11 goals, 20 big chances conceded, 33 shots on target. They actually have an expected goals conceded of 9.94. So they are definitely the worst team in the league right now when it comes to their defensive stats. So I might be tempted to take a punt on Chelsea and Cole Palmer for game week 27. Let me know in the comments down below who will be your captain. I still, as mentioned, think that Mo Salah will be the most captain player and is the safest option, but if you want to take a punt, I actually like Cole Palmer for the next game week.